So, pretty sick game. I will. It's a storybook game. Yeah, it was just like playing through a story. Yeah, I just everybody was shooting the car up, so I blinded them. And me and my buddy ran for the car.
Client feedback noted.
How's our ride looking?
Tip-top.
It's not a shout game.
We are being pursued. Please remain.
The microchip or the RAM chips that my sister ordered were all fake, or not fake. Didn't work. No. So I'm not buying anything for a computer ever again on fucking eBay.
Leave it to me.
Well, they had like I double checked it before I even asked my sister, and they had good reviews. Like they had 90% purchase approval. Happiness. So, but I should have took that 98% with a grain of salt. Who's to say that it wasn't just them hiring their friends to give them good reviews on a dollar purchase? Buy something off my page for $1 and then give me a real good review, and I'll give you $5. So, because I checked all of them like
We did
one
it,
at a
Jackie.
time too,
We fucking made it.
and none of them worked.
My medical
Like the
diagnostics
computer wouldn't even
indicate
power
that
up, so
Mr.
power
Wells's
wasn't
condition
even
is
going through
critical.
them.
Take us to a river dock now.
Apologies, but that will not be possible. Our itinerary has been pre-arranged and paid for in advance. I am not at liberty to alter it.
Fuck your liberty. Do what I say.
Yeah.
I suggest you
Get
try
your
to
money
keep
back.
Mr. Wells conscious.
We're getting cream jobs left and right now. Hear me, Jack?
Oh, okay. So hopefully you get your money back. Yeah.
No, Jackie.
Can you make your own
We're gonna
gaskets?
be rich. You and me.
Because I saw these Chinese guys, they were making their own fucking custom gaskets. They just get that material the gaskets are made out of, and they stick the old one on top and then trace it with a penknife. But, keep in mind these guys have like years of experience of people being willing to let them fucking, throw in homemade parts into their car, right? Oh, they just killed my boyfriend.
The one gasket recorded to the special metal ring in the center of it.
Mr. Wells has passed.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
shall I take his remains?
And there's no way I can make something like
The
that.
Excelsior package provides for the disposal of passenger remains free of charge. I merely require a destination.
He'd want to be with his family.
Mr. Wells's closest blood relative is Guadalupe Alejandra Wells, proprietress of the El Coyote Coho. Make sure
I asked them if they wiped everything down, but now that I think about it, the tube that runs into the machine, I don't think they didn't specify whether or not they swapped that out every time they had a patient.
They would have to.
I guess. Hopefully. I don't know, it's just my mind racing about fucking getting COVID.
Yep.
My sister got me this sweet new walker though, so I'm hoping I'll be able to get a lot of my leg and upper body strength back this summer. Get to walking again, going out for walks and stuff. And it's got a real nice seat on it, so if I get tired, I can just fucking set it down. And it's only 14 pounds, and I already tried lifting it, and I could. Yeah, I put my cane down and I literally walked over to it. And my sister and the guy at the store were like, "Oh, whoa, hang on 1 second." I just, like I fucking, I powered through it, right?
Yep.
Because I don't not use my muscles because I'm weak. I don't use my muscles because it hurts. The connective tissues between the muscle and the bone is weakened, and any pressure hurts, So, but I walked right on over and I picked it up and did a couple presses, and they were like, "Oh wow, wow." Yeah. I could probably curl a 20-pound one still. 20-pound weight with one arm. I remember when I was in football, we used to sit there and we used to just keep cranking until somebody would pass out. Then we'd draw dicks on his forehead. Or shave an eyebrow off. Ryan Thule, he went through pretty much most of high school without eyebrows. From either passing out at parties or passing out at in the workouts. Because we pushed ourselves hard. I don't know, my parents never expected a sports scholarship, and the only reason why I joined the football team was because they were like, "You have no sports whatsoever, and you need some." You know how they switched to that fucking bullshit, point system? X amount of classes and X amount of bullshit before you're allowed to graduate. So I took...
They all had credits.
No, when I was going through high school, you just had to finish the class. You just go to the class, and then they switched up to the credit system where if you did it right, you wouldn't even have to take a certain class. It's like my English. That's taking the football pretty much got me pity passed all the way through my English. I don't know how to fucking spell, but I have my grade 11 in fucking English. But I also excelled at electronics, metalworking, welding, auto body. Not so much shop because I was constantly taking stuff apart that should have stayed together. That's why I was so good at taking stuff apart when I was up at the shop there.
Could take it apart, don't ask you to put it together.
I know, I was pretty proud with the work I did on that wiring harness. It was real professional.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's still working.
I was just glad that your uncle, gave me opportunity without fucking hovering or questioning. Because you could clearly see that he had questions as to what my capabilities were after I had arrived,
Oh yeah, definitely.
But then once you realized it's just all like you were giving a friend an opportunity to do something they wouldn't normally get to do.
Yeah.
Most people that's why he was the one who recommended I take that quad out for a rip. You remember that?
He wasn't even there, dude. I told you to take that quad for a rip.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought you were the one who tagged along and rode on the back.
I did because after you came back into the yard and turned around, I heard a noise.
Ah.
So that's when I'm like, okay, I'm jumping on because I heard a noise.
That was so fun, Dane.
Well, I'm thinking I'm going to be going down south this spring to give my dad a hand seeding.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be bringing the trailer with the quad down. So we might have to just go out somewhere and you might have to try and jump on the quad and go for a rip.
Might do. If I pass this final blood test, I'm getting ready for surgery. So after that, I won't be able to do anything fun for like at least half a year.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, we'll definitely have to try and get you out on it at least once.
Yeah. And hey, and I'm part of the neighborhood watch, so technically we could drive around in the neighborhood if we wanted to.
Oh God, no! We're not riding this machine around the neighborhood.
those schmucks down at the neighborhood watch. I've been gone from volunteering there for like 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
And the other day, this winter, my buddy contacts me and he's like, "I'm taking off out of town, and I need you. I want you to do my route." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't do that anymore. I'm too fucked up." And he's just like, "Well, I saw you riding around on your electric scooter the other day. You can do that, can't you?" And I was just all like, "Yeah." And well, I'll bring the skidoo by and you can use it. And it's fucking awesome. And then it sat in my parking lot for a day, and then I sat for an afternoon just sitting in the parking lot revving it. And yeah, I know it could have totally been bad for the machine. I totally understand that. But, you know, and then, because the first day he dropped it off, I just slowly, I showed him that I could still operate it without killing myself. Then, later that night, I drove his route around West End. I went up across the train tracks, and it was sweet, because it was like, I don't know if it had power steering, if that's an option, but it was like it had it. You know how it was super easy?
On a snow machine?
Yeah.
No,
You still-
they don't have power steering.
You still had to lean into it, but it was like that quad. You know, you could just, if you wanted to, you could just pull on the handlebars hard, and it would turn the front. I remember when I had that old John Deere, I really had to lean.
Yeah, they were heavy machines though.
Yeah, this thing was nice, but it was long, like really long. Had nice deep footwells though too, with good grip, big spikes that bit into the boots. And it sat really high off the ground too. Had some decent travel.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I get it. If it was a longer machine, it'd make the front end lighter, so it'd be able to turn a lot easier.
Oh, okay. All I know is I never went faster than I would go on my scooter, and it was I was able to turn it in the back alleys just by slightly leaning into it and pulling down on the one handle. And then I just kept my other hand on the thumb. But yeah, they told me that they cut a deal with the Moose Jaw Police Department, and neighborhood watch people are allowed to do their patrols on recreational vehicles like dirt bikes and quads and skidoos. So long as they keep it to travel to utility roads, city utility roads, and they continue to do the patrols in the back alleys. So, and that's pretty much what it is you just drive down the back alley real slow, like, you know, see if there's any fire or sounds of people breaking in, or, you know.
Yeah, any mischiefs.
Yeah, and, you know, if you see people, you just say hello. You don't interact past just saying hello, because 9 out of 10 times a person who's breaking into a car or something, if you just engage them, they'll disengage from their criminal activity and mosey on.
Usually, yeah.
Well, the year that they, because the cops were kind of like not working with us, so they shut it down for like a year, and crime went up 32% in the Crescents. That's why they asked them to come back, but we weren't. Those guys. I wasn't part of the decision making. I stopped being part of the decision making like 9 years ago when they realized I'm a fucking psychopath. Yeah, I was running it kind of like a military, but it was one of like a board almost, so they voted somebody new in, and I agreed. It was, you know, I stepped down mutually, you know, nicely. But the guy, he was from the police department, and he had better connections within the community. He could actually get shit done. The mayor doesn't hate him.
Yeah.
No, my sister asked me about the stuff that I've participated in, like the Chamber of Commerce, because she's like, well, how would you be able to go to the Chamber of Commerce and sit in on a municipal meeting of, you know, the business owners? And it's just like, you know, those nosebleed seats up in the back there, well, that's for the plebs. That's where the common people sit to participate in witnessing it. And they're not allowed to have their quorum unless they have witnesses for clarity. That's why a lot of these non-charity boards always have to get somebody who's impartial just to tag along, just to be a witness. So hopefully I can find some stuff to do. I'm gonna be done this hurdy-gurdy soon, and she loved her bobblehead. Absolutely loved it.
Right on.
I showed it to her when they stopped by one day to see how the hurdy-gurdy was coming along, and I showed her the partially finished head, and she thought it was really nice. But when she saw the finished one, she was like when she's holding it in the palm of her hand, she just had a smile because the hand was waving back and forth, and the head was just kind of wibble wobbling in all directions. Yeah. Yeah, and they gave me this fucking really sweet and a really cool brooch. You know, like one of those old timey ones women would wear, a choker.
Yeah.
It's kind of big and gaudy though, so I think I'm gonna use it as a medallion for on my hat. It's got a really cool skull on it.
Nice.
1788 to 1871.
Huh.
The walk in beauty's life, the night of cloudless climbs and starry skies. Oh, cloudless climbs and starry skies. That's written around it. Then on the back it says sterling silver. It has a sterling silver stamp. And then it says 2012 Alchemy Creations. Then underneath it says Alchemy Creations since 1977. Made in England.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a thrift store find. This is perfect shit for a thrift store.
Yeah, that stainless or sterling silver. It's worth some money.
It's plated. If it was full sterling silver, they would have sold it to be melted down. That's what thrift stores do. It was fucking disgusting. So many rings I had to hide from them and give to Theo to sell online for their actual value, because the board would rather just not have to deal with finding someone to sell shit like that. Oh, we'll just collect it and we'll sell it in bulk to the scrapper. So, but oh, I'm so excited. Fuck, I ended walking up all over the place at that fucking hospital today. I need to eat more food. Yup. No, I was hoping that. Well, when are you coming down? Because I could get my sister to bring me to Saskatoon like 2 weeks beforehand, and I could come hang out up there 2 weeks beforehand. And then,
Yeah, I have no idea when I'm coming down south. It, like my dad said, when I asked him about it, he's like, if I can give you any notice, he's like, if I can give 2 days notice.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I could be down there within 2 weeks,
Yeah.
or I might not be down there till closer to May. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just all depends on soil conditions down south, and if the frost is out of the ground, and if it's still freezing at night, and
Huh.
yeah, there's just so many variables that.
If I mailed you something, would you do something for me?
What do you need, dude?
I'll mail you some a drill bit and a piece of bar stock, and all you need to do is drill a hole through it. Nice clean hole. That's all you have to do. Don't need to know what it's for. Don't need to know why. You can keep the drill bit afterwards. I highly recommend it. Might come in handy during an apocalypse. So, but I was hoping to get that done this summer. Because that other one worked out really nicely. Like if had I gotten the spring in time, it would have fired. And I bet you the fact it didn't have that spring is why I didn't get in trouble.
Huh. Well, it was still a non-operationable firearm.
Yeah, what you gonna do? At least they have to leave me alone now because they've been to my house time and time again. This time when he brought me my paperwork, I was just all like, you guys don't come back without a warrant next time, in hand. Otherwise, I'm getting lawyers involved. And he was like, sorry, we were just acting on a judge's request. And I was just like, yeah, this judge is a fucking nut job bitch. And the lady in the counter, she was like, you know, you shouldn't talk to authorities, talk about authorities like that. And I'm like, bitch, please. No, I didn't say that to her. But that's what I was thinking in my head, right? You know, I probably gave her a funny look.
Oh, I hear ya. Tired.
No, today was a good day.
That's good.
My sister asked me how I was feeling about Mom. It was like I cried a little bit, and I was just like, yeah, I feel like shit. And she was like, so has Dad or Jen called you? And I'm like, no. She's like, they haven't even contacted you. Dad fucking called me over that one night, and I didn't go over because I was too scared he was just gonna bitch me out and kick me out of the house. So I didn't go over, even though I wanted to. You know, like, it's still my dad hurting, right?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I've never heard him so sad in my life. But at the same rate, I had a valid concern.
Oh, for sure.
You know, I don't need to take verbal abuse. And for him to say that, you know, and I know he was just attacking me because he was hurt. But, you know, saying that I don't work and that I don't do anything, yeah, anybody who says that to me is immediately my enemy. If they don't fucking retract that right away, and I gave him an opportunity.
Yeah.
No, I went back and I played nice and he fucking acted stupid, so I was just like, see you later. I was going to go in and give Mom another kiss and show her that me and Dad are okay, but whatever. It's gone, it's over. Fuck, Regina is crazy. Couldn't believe it. We were driving through that Grandview, or not Grandview Heights. Well, you know that whole new area on that one area? Fuck, what's it called?
We'll just call it Harbor Landing.
There we go, that's the place. I remember back when that Grasslands shopping center was like the only thing out in the middle of nowhere. Now it's completely surrounded all the way out to Pinky's Road.
Right. Regina's really expanding.
No, fuck. When I was in my 26, one of the trips that we went on with the militia guys was me and Gunther managed to get on with them, and we both had partners, and we all went down the thing, and Gunther and Kyle got arrested for being drunk on some farmer's property instead of on the river, and they had to walk across that golf course back to Pinky's Road because the cops wouldn't drive them. But it was funny because I got a video of me playing with some Canadian geese and getting scared shitless because I was just like, this is the Canadian goose. Let's go poke it. And then I take a couple steps towards them and they all stand up in the field and I'm like, nah, fuck this.
Yeah, run away.
Yeah, that's on my YouTube page. That's my...
I can't watch this video on fucking YouTube.
Yeah. And then we go down, then I go down the river to catch up with Brian. And That's when we saw the two hot air balloons. And that was fucking epic, dude. Because I was just like, I was so fucked up at the time, so high. Because the reason why I stopped in the first place was to roll a bunch of joints, and I ended up smoking most of them. With the geese. Because the geese were blowing my mind. It was an entire field full of them. And they were just sitting there. They didn't even... Except for the two in the video that were actually staring me down in the beginning, none of them gave a flying fuck that I was there. But yeah, we got to the bend at it's a resort, Sherwood Forest. It used to be a national park, and we were going to camp there, but we didn't know that it had been purchased and turned into a private golf course or something. Either way, it was private land, and Gunther and Kyle were camped on the edge of it, and that's why they got arrested, because apparently on the other side of the trees, on the other side of a fence, there was a really nicely groomed yard, and that's where we saw the tire tracks from the RCMP. We saw their footprints, you know, and we're like, oh, they were kidnapped, you know. But I got that one in a video too, actually. I'm gonna have to send that one to you, because it's just like we're all like gumshoes. It's like, well, their cigarettes are all thrown all over the place, but the beer's still here, you know. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I know in that area there's also the RCMP training grounds in that area.
Oh, so they would have come out in numbers. Cause they chased us off there. They came out of the trees with baseball bats, and they were like, "Get the fuck off our land! We told your friends to get the fuck out of here." And I was like, "Whoa! I'm just a native going down the fucking river, and we saw some boats in distress here, ma'am. Don't get in my fucking grill. I'm 20 meters from the fucking water's edge and no further. Don't you fucking accuse me of shit. This is fucking my people's land." And you fucking, my friends just all kind of like walking me away slowly. Yeah.
That's funny.
Fuck, that was a fun trip. I am so glad I did it. So many people told me not to do it. Nathaniel left his leather shoes too close to the fire, and they fucking shriveled up like the Wicked Witch of the West shoes. He just woke up in the morning and there were his shoes, and the plastic foot, you know, plastic foot was still, you know, that shape, right? But curled up, and all the leather had shrunk.
Yeah, wet leather and heat don't mix.
Oh, it was funny because he tried to blame it on me afterwards, and I was like, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah, no shit.
And I had to spend most of the night protecting my tent from those drunk idiots and them staggering around the massive bonfire. Because we had camped in this, like, it was like a native sweat lodge
Okay.
we had found on the river, and we just decided to camp in there. Because they had a nice fire pit, a nice drying rack. It was right after I'd fallen in the river. Yeah, it was cool because I had fallen in the river and lost my boat, and my boat was drifting down the river. And Terry and Kyle, they're the guys that were in the army, so like they're the leaders of this shit show. So if anything goes wrong, it's their fucking asses, right? And they're like, "Oh my god, just stand up, get out of the water!" And it's just all like, Terry sees my boat floating down, and you can see it's him, and like if they had time, they would have rock paper scissored that shit, but Terry acted, and he did like this gorilla leap off of the cliff that they were standing on down into the river on top of my boat. He lost one of his boots doing it too. So yeah, by the end of it, we had a guy with only one boot and another guy with no shoes. I didn't have my glasses. We almost got shot. We were camping at this one spot, and it was before everybody met up. Everyone met up,
Yeah.
and it was just all like, it was perfect, a perfect spot. So we camped there, and we cleaned up all the long grass. We cleaned up all the garbage. We cleaned out all the dead wood, burnt everything real nice, and you know, and the next day, the farmer was just all like, and you know, holy shit, what the fuck, right? Yeah. He said, well, I could see your fire from the farmhouse, and I came out here and saw what you guys were doing, and you could have set the whole place on fire, and how do you know that there isn't a ground fire? And we were just like, dude, we're actual voyageurs. Like, look at this place. It's fucking beautiful. It's all cleaned up, all the long grasses. Don't you fucking... And then he came around, and once he realized that one of our guys was standing in the bushes pointing a 30-06 at him, the shotgun kind of went down. And I don't know if it was a 30-06. It was just a chromed out fucking rifle that Terry brought. And yeah, he always brought that. Every trip we went on, he had that. But I guess he was certified to have something like that, so.
Well, and when you're doing shit like that, it's usually always recommended to bring firearms.
Well, if you're doing it and it's like, technically, you know, we're paying the military to take us out and be recreational fucking soldiers. So it's like like if somebody got attacked by a bear or a cat or something, there would have been consequences. But once he found out what we were there doing, that we were like doing conservation sort of shit, he cooled out and he apologized and he said, you know, sorry, but you know, you guys should have known to send somebody out to my farm because it was close enough, and you should have known that the surrounding farms would have seen such a large fire and that you should have at least notified them. And we were like, well, we kind of called the RCMP and told, like, the RCMP know we're down on the river here. Well, our little group, I don't know how many of them actually called and notified them, but I know me and Nathaniel, Terry, and OV were all registered as voyageurs at the tourist bureau. So we got our stamps for doing that river. Yeah, I can say I'm a voyageur and that I have done the South Saskatchewan River in its entirety. But yeah, you just go to the tourist bureaus of the buildings, or of the towns along the way, and they got a little stamp, and then they stamp your card. Yeah, it used to be a really big thing way back in the day. Nowadays, when you go to national parks and you tell them that you're a voyageur, you know, exploring the parks, they look at you like you're fucking strange in the head. But they don't know if they went to a back office and started rooting around in a box, they'd find a stamp set, you know?
Yeah. Well, you said not to make people do that anymore.
You know, but back in the day, it was huge. People would pay thousands of dollars just to get that stamp. I know when we hoofed it across Lake Diefenbaker, the lady at the, is it Brownlee or is it Eyebrow? But you know, the town that's right at the end?
Yeah, Eyebrow.
When we went to their tourist bureau / history museum, she fucking had it. She was like, what? Yeah. You didn't know that you could go from the river over there and portage it across and do the Lake Diefenbaker, because the Lake Diefenbaker used to be a little river, and then the Diefenbaker guy built it into Lake Diefenbaker. I think that's why there's those ancient fish in it or some shit.
No idea.
I watched Gary Overs catch one of those ones. Fucking put a chicken on the end of what looked like a fucking anchor. Dropped it down in the water, and about 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes later, it started shaking, and he just started hoofing, and we all started hoofing, and out of the water came this massive, ancient looking fucking thing. Its eyes were all bleached looking. We took pictures with it, and he dumped it back in the water.
Probably a bourbon.
Don't know what it was.
The only thing I can think of would be a bourbon.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be like a 10,000-year-old fish or something, or as closest thing we have to a prehistoric fish.
Yeah. All I know is he said that it was not endangered, but on the special species list. So it's like if it died while he was doing what he was doing, he would get in so much shit. Not supposed to catch him unless you got a license or some shit.
There's strictly catch and release.
Oh, okay. That's probably what he was talking about then. Because we threw it back. It's fucking massive though.
Yeah, I bet.
Sturgeon, there we go. I think that's what he called it.
Yep. Yeah, they're a wild fish.
It was kind of crazy. My sister stayed parked at the roundabout the whole hour and a half that I was there. That was crazy.
They parked at the roundabout.
Yeah, you know, there's that roundabout at the General. The main entrance that kind of goes around and about.
Oh, okay, yeah. Main entrance at the hospital. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, she parked in a loading zone for handicapped and she just kind of sat there the whole time. And it's supposed to be like, you know, you unload people and then you drive and go park.
Yeah.
So I don't know, people see me and all fucked up and they go, holy fuck. But I did spend most of this winter just sitting in a computer chair not doing anything. That's not healthy. Well, I think I'm gonna go to bed, bud.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm not too far away, buddy.
You have a good night, Daner.
Dude, Timmy, thanks for the call. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, see you in the morning.
For sure, coffee will be on. Have a good night, buddy.
Bye.
Peace.
I can just say it someday. Once you're fixed.
See you in the major leagues, Jack.
waiting.
WNS, N54, even the pirate networks. You blowing up everywhere. And the Jackster, he out in the car?
We return to this week's biggest story, the murder of Arasaka Corporation.
Don't care to know how Jackie is?
Told him, you best watch it.
Bled out in the back seat. Dead.
On the premises of the
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Hotel while attending a
And the
family
relic?
event. Saburo Arasaka's son, Yorinobu Arasaka,
No such luck.
blamed for his father's murder.
That's one piece of good news.
Although he has
Good
not
news.
provided evidence supporting
Saburo Arasaka.
According to market
Dead.
analysts, the CEO
You got any notion of the shit you pulled me into?
attention away
You off the fucking Emperor! His Majesty!
after the break.
Anyone with so much as a pinky toe dipped in this mess is as good as dead!
You're the one who got us into this mess! Let's start with your prep work! You had no idea Saburo Arasaka'd be at the hotel?
I don't have access to his personal fucking schedule. And besides, nobody asked you to kill the old man.
That wasn't us!
No shit. Tell that to the soccer ninjas they send after you. Alright, settle down. Gotta be tactical about this. New place, new identity. But first, your face got blood all over it. Bathroom's there. Go get yourself cleaned up. Alright then. Can't risk it, V. Remember our first convo?
I'll fucking
Seems
kill
I've
you!
chosen the quiet life after all. No blaze of glory for me.
Is that the fucking end of the game?
Hey.
Hey,
You alright?
never been better.
Sure don't look it.
Hey, where's Shell?
Ready? Fucking ready? Do this!
Tonight, I'm here to say goodbye to all of you.
change your mind.
Wanna see me give up? Sounds like something you'd do. Know why? Because you've always been a fucking pussy, Carrie. Offer you one piece of advice, for old time's sake. Stop being one. Time to bring on the future.
You're late! Silverhand!
Hey, Shaden!
Get us in the air! Here, put this on, and it stays on! Got it?
Units are on fire. Pacifica Squadron shut down. APC's on the streets of Watson.
Sons of bitches!
Skull cracking out there. That us?
Johnny's idea. Wayland's drawing Aristotle attention away from the tower.
Collateral damage part of the plan too.
This is the Cub Scouts, Johnson. Chew it up, spit it out.
Target range of fire.
Make it rain.
Show him what's what. Taking over.
Murphy!
Other access point. Get moving.
Johnny, remember the plan?
Get the payload on the elevator, arm it. Let gravity do its thing. Explosion rocks the foundation, tower crumbles, chaos, screaming roll credits.
Exit window's gonna be tight.
Jacking in. Is grass green? Do birds fly?
Mainframe's not your playground, Murphy. Come on. Evac announcement. Broadcast it across all frequencies and let's get moving.
Sheesh. Who wrote this manifesto?
Really need me to answer that question?
Jesus, Johnny. You've gone off the deep end. That's coming from a chair jock.
Come on. Get ready. Not even sorry for you.
Not that!
Only one way to go. Forward.
Bushido 2, bomb's name is what?
Wrap it up! We got a Delta!
The Demolitron. We're good to blow.
Shaka Elite incoming! Run for it!
Shoot the cables! Get the rotor spinning! We're on our way!
Not done yet. Still need to feed this to their subnet.
Fucking knew it! This was never about Arasaka. This was about your groupie output, wasn't it?
Not like you could ever understand, Rogue.
You're on your own. Giving you 4 fucking minutes if you want to ride out of here.
Door lock breached. Arasaka sons of bitches incoming.
Love you, Spider.
All world loves me.
Medic! I'm hit! Damn it! We're exposed!
Closing in on the access point.
Slide in. Sweet icebreaker. Foreign, right? Just wonder if we know anyone who can switch the subnet protocol.
Hilarious. You gonna help or not?
Do spiders spin webs? It's time we caught some flies.
Thanks, Murph.
Now, just for good measure. Holy cyber cow. We're on TV. Take a look.
Return now to Arasaka Tower. Its evacuation ongoing after an unidentified terrorist organization released a manifesto threatening violence. The terrorists stating their desire to, quote-unquote, topple a monument to corporate colonialism. Night City's mayor, Imbole Ebunike, has issued a statement declaring that he will bring the full force of the law to bear in response to any act of terrorism. Going now to our reporter on the scene at Arasaka Tower. Hopefully he can shed some light on the situation as events unfold.
All set. Now get out of there. They're moving up. Hit the roof quick. Shit! That's Adam Smasher! Johnny, run!
Murphy!
Door's sealed, but it won't hold for long. Run, Johnny. Like the wind.
Smasher.
Told you, Johnny boy. Told you I'd end you someday.
Let us try once more. Your associates. Who are they? How did you acquire fissile material?
Gonna give good cop over there a chance to say something? Come on.
Which terrorist organization do you belong to? How did you acquire fissile material?
Hey, Gramps. I know you.
아저씨, 적세트 하나시오스.
Hot damn. Done and gone.
My husband died in that tower.